Let me know when you hit live.
Yeah, we're in, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, everyone? Let people hop in here for a little bit, and then we'll get ripping.
So much to cover today. This is incredible.
Who we got in here right now?
We got a couple people. If you guys got any questions, write it in the comments, and we'll definitely take a look at them. Let you know what we think about them for sure.
Yeah, so you guys got any friends? Tell them to hop in. Anyone hopping in? There's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff we got to break down here. We'll be live for quite a bit, so it's going to be a fun day.
What do you think about these rushing yards? Is there anybody you're really eyeing here for rushing yards?
I'm not going to lie. I honestly don't mind Chase.
I was thinking that as well. Him being at 3.5, he's got a lot of uses for those jet sweeps.
He didn't run that many throughout the year, but he averages like over 3 yards a carry when he does. I don't know. I just think with the Rams being there's just being so good up front, he's got a real good shot. Again, you know what I'm saying? Again, breaking one loose, jet sweeping on the outside.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
23 against the 23 against the Raiders. Then we got these.
Definitely,
We got
definitely
the.
one out. What's up?
I was gonna say for the random categories for the quarterbacks and stuff.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know, dude. I was looking at pass completions, and they're both at 24. I honestly think Stafford's got a pretty good shot to get there. I think they both have a good shot to get there, but Stafford over the last 2 games, they've just been throwing. Even when they were up on Tampa Bay, they didn't I mean, they just kept throwing. I think there's a route for Stafford to get there, blowout or close game, or even if the Rams are playing from down.
I really don't mind Rams here at 4.5 for tackles for a loss. I mean that Bengals line is just so unpredictable that I mean just Von Miller, Floyd, Darnold. I mean they're gonna be flying through this line and just really just causing havoc.
Dude, see with these though, we were talking about the defensive stuff. I mean, we took that Von Miller prop before,
Yeah,
and
with
that
the
was
sack.
tough. And that was tough. What's he at? He's at 1 sack.
Yeah,
See, I don't like that. Well, I don't understand why he'd be at 1 sack, but half a sack last time, or was it 0.75 of a sack?
I think it was 0.75.
And now he's just at one flat. I feel like he got a better chance of getting Leonard Floyd at a sack. You know, if they're double teaming Donald, focusing on Miller, and just Floyd coming in. Um, but tackles for loss, I wish there was a yardage for tackles for loss. Like if this was
I
like
know.
like you
Instead
know what
of
I'm
it
saying,
just
15
being a
total
number.
yards. Yeah, they had like 15 total tackles for loss, or 15 total yards for loss.
There we go. We're getting some people. Hey, if you guys got any questions for this huge Super Bowl slate, write it down in the comments. We're gonna be ripping here for about an hour, a little over an hour. So let us know what you guys are thinking.
Brandon's in here. Brandon, let's go, Matt Stafford. He says, "What do you want to know about Matt Stafford today, man? You want to know about his passing yards, maybe a little bit spicy on a rushing yards, some touchdown props, quarterback completion percentage."
I know they did a lot QB rating. I mean, there's just so much stuff for this slate.
I'll tell you what I do like though, because this is the Super Bowl. We're gonna have to take some, like, honestly, as much as I don't like taking unders, like just on a solo game, like I feel like a lot of unders are gonna hit. This game can go any direction. For all I know,
Yeah, I mean it could
this
be
game could
like
be
10 to
17-10. For all
yeah.
I know, like this could be. I mean, the last time the Rams played in the Super Bowl, the game was awful. It was an awful game against the Patriots. 13-3. I mean, obviously they had Jared Goff but similar offense. I mean, Robert, instead of OBJ, you have Robert Woods, and then at the running back position, you're almost a little bit more. You were better in that 2017 season with Todd Gurley. So, I mean, this Rams team, I mean, obviously with a huge upgrade at quarterback, but man,
How do you guys feel about Odell Cup over on receiving yards? I mean, you could really never go wrong with Cooper Cup at 102. I mean, we've seen all year where he looks like he's gonna go under, and it's just two big plays he rips off for 40 yards apiece and get that over. But I really don't mind Odell here. I feel like I'd rather go Odell over Cooper Cup. As crazy as that sounds, he just the past two games he's just looked phenomenal. He's seen a ton of targets. Van Jefferson has been very quiet. No Tyler Higbee. So I mean, Odell is for sure the true number two right now.
I still think Cup finds a way to get there. I mean, I think no matter what, it's just like he's gonna get his. Like in tougher secondaries, he's gotten his. Um, and it just, I mean, obviously, the biggest stage you can get to here. This is like the most film anyone's ever had on Cooper Cup, up until this point. But I still think he finds a way to get there. For Odell, for me, it's one of those situations where, like, I don't know if I trust this line for Odell. Do I think he can catch a touchdown? I think so. Like, I think he can catch a touchdown, and like he can still be electric. But I think I'm safe. I think I'm safer with Cup. I mean, Riaz, I feel like you feel different.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the Bengals know if they're gonna win this game, they have to shut down Cooper Cup and not let him just dictate what's going on for this offense. And they're gonna put a lot of pressure on Cooper Cup. I mean, Eli Apple's probably going to be on Cooper Cup. He did a great job in the second half against Tyreek Hill, and I think he's got a little confidence going into this game versus Cooper Cup. Definitely a guy who's a lot slower than Tyreek Hill, and OBJ is kind of that guy who could run any route. He's always seems to find an opening, and if they're going to put so much pressure on Cooper Cup, I mean, we saw late in the fourth quarter, OBJ caught that huge catch that ended up being a helmet to helmet after he made the catch. So there's a lot of big plays for Odell here, especially at 60 and a half coming off. I mean, 113, almost 70 yards against Tampa Bay. So every single game now, he's just trending upwards.
Did you see the comment in here? Trevor goes. I heard Odell is baby watching during the game tonight. They're expecting a child.
I did see
They're
that.
expecting tonight. I don't know if you saw this on Twitter or something like that recently either.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, your opinion on that? I mean, realistically for me, I don't think it affects. I think if anything, it might boost his play. He's like that type of dude that's just like he's like he I don't know. I feel like he'd feed into that. I understand he's probably like baby watching, but he's the type of dude to put on like a performance in that situation. I mean, I don't, he's gonna play hard. I mean, this is where he wants to be. This is where he's always dreamed to be, and he's gonna play hard for sure. Um, Targets wise, I see sub 10 targets here. I see like 8 to 10. I don't see over 10 for me at least. I don't know.
For
Odell.
Odell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see sub 10 targets. I don't think he's going to be like peppered like that. I see some spicy stuff. Like I said, I was talking to Riaz. I like some Van Jefferson stuff here. Like, honestly, like, and the same for the Bengals, like some Boyd stuff. I mean, we saw in the Super Bowl with the 40 with the 49ers, like Kyle Juszczyk just come out of nowhere and be heavily involved. We've seen the Chiefs do it with dudes like Pringle and, just getting like Miko Hardman when when they're just least expecting it, So I feel like Odell's like everyone already knows Cooper Cup's going to get his. I feel like that's the game plan. I feel like the Bengals kind of go in saying, "All right, we know this kid's going to get his. Like what can we do to limit Odell and limit a big play here?" So, I'm sure they're not going to try to get beat over the top. I mean, these are two big over the top threats, and like I said, you got Van Jefferson too, who's like, who's a huge deep threat as well. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Kendall Blanton comes in and catches a touchdown or catches 3 balls for 50 yards. It's just something like it's a Super Bowl, man. Like this is where all the tricks come into play, in my opinion. Here,
What do you think about this one? Do you think Higgins and Boyd get more targets than Chase? How do you feel about CJ back in the mix? If CJ is healthy and he's getting a full run, I think Prize Picks kind of struggled with his props. I mean, his receiving yards here at 26 and a half. We know how great he is finding the middle of the field just to give Joe Burrow a little relief. So I really like if we get news saying he's 100%, he's getting full reps, he's gonna play majority of this game. I mean, I'm all over him at 26 and a half receiving yards. I believe his receptions is at 2.5. We just saw before he got that big hit that he was playing phenomenal. He was racking up like 5 6 catches a game, going for almost 60 70 yards receiving. So he's definitely in a big spot here if he's got full run.
yeah. I mean, my opinion on Azoma has been so strong throughout these playoffs. I mean, I was all over him. Fantasy score. Um, Against Tennessee, and he caught that one long ball right before halftime. And the Kansas City obviously gets hurt, which is unfortunate. But I thought that was going to impact the game more than it did. Like I really thought, okay, Uzoma's done. Like this offense is going to struggle. They come back from 21 deficit without Uzoma. Now you add Uzoma back into the mix. I think it only helps this team realistically. I love the 26 and a half receiving yards for Uzoma. I mean, just if you look at his play throughout the playoffs, it's literally significant, man. He's just such a safety blanket for Burrow. I mean, obviously he has Chase, which is his go-to guy. But realistically, Zoma just opens so much things up for this offense, which helps someone like a Higgins, which helps someone like a Boyd. Chase, I feel like, is going to get his targets no matter what. But I love Uzoma here. I think he can catch a touchdown here. I bet you the odds on him catching a touchdown um, are extremely
They,
undervalued.
yeah, they're probably pretty high. And then to answer your first question, I don't believe Higgins or Boyd are going to get more targets than Chase. I think Chase is going to get majority of the work here, but I mean Tyler Boyd's sitting at 5.5 targets. I mean that's definitely one you could definitely take a look at. Higgins has just been a target monster the last couple of games. We saw a lot of talk about how Higgins just needs to kind of control this game if Jamar Chase is just having pressure all over him, and he rose to the occasion and he's just been playing phenomenal. I mean, two just monster games and his targets at 8. I actually really do like that. I can see him having 10, 11 targets if this game really starts to be a shootout. Brandon
Mixon,
said,
Mixon for me. Um, I was talking to Riaz about Mixon a little bit. If you watch the YouTube video, I like a lot of P Ryan stuff compared to Mixon. Um, Mixon rush attempts at 16. I feel like that's an under for me. If you're looking for some unders, because we were saying there's definitely gonna be some unders. I don't think Mixon's gonna get over 16 attempts, in my opinion. I think there's a route for them to go down early, maybe go down significantly, where Mixon loses out on those touches. So That's the narrative I'm playing here.
Brandon says, "Who do y'all have winning the game?" I like the Rams. I've been on the Rams all season. I forgot what week it was in one of the videos. I said I love the Rams to win the Super Bowl, so I can't change my pick now, even though I'm a big Joe Burrow fan. I don't really like the Bengals. I think they're a decent team. They're definitely hitting their stride right now, but I think the Rams just have way too much firepower and their defense just looks phenomenal.
So for me, man, um, I haven't made a pick up until this point. Like I woke up this morning and I was like, whatever's in my head this morning, and that's what I'm riding with. And I'm going with Cincinnati to win. And I don't know. That's just what I'm feeling here, man. And um, as much as I love Stafford, it was funny enough because I took a lot of bets last year on Burrow and Stafford. Burrow against that Colts team late in the game through that interception, and it was just like I was always going Stafford and the Lions because you just never knew any week Stafford with the Lions can pull something out. I mean, these two quarterbacks are so good, and Stafford is just amazing. He's so undervalued. The Rams team is unreal. Um, but man, I mean, what a story it would be if the Bengals did win it. Honestly, it can go either way. But I figured I'd rather hear. I was like, I woke up saying Cincinnati. I'll have a little competition with Riaz while I'm at it too, so that's a win-win for me regardless.
That's
So
great.
I can talk my shit if the Rams lose. I got one up on Riaz, so I'll take that all day.
And then someone asked earlier, are you guys even touching first, third, and fourth down props? I don't think I'm going to. There's really, I mean, that's just really tough research. You got to dive in. I mean, if anything, I would do the fourth down conversions. I mean, I definitely don't mind the Bengals over half. I think if it comes down late, they will get a first down on fourth down. So and the Rams at one. I mean, you just really never know with these, but I like the Bengals at a half here, taking that over.
Yeah, I mean, for me, these are two teams that didn't really go for it a lot on fourth down throughout the year, and even in the playoffs. And that's why I like McPherson at the field goals. These teams are not scared to kick it. I mean, if it's 4th and 5, depending on where you are in the field for sure, I'm sure they'll take the points. I mean, the game could be, it could be it's a two-score game in the Rams' favor, and the Bengals have to kind of go for one that's at like a 4th and 3, but they're not scared to put in points. So, um, I don't. I probably wouldn't be touching these, but I'm probably with you, Riaz, about the Bengals probably being the one that looks a little bit better for me, just because in the fact that if they do have to play from down, obviously. So I do don't mind. I mean, I don't mind either one, but probably the Bengals. And then first and third down, man. I mean, just like these are just crazy, dude. I mean, these are just wild. Third down conversion allowed. Not for me. Not for me. I mean, this is tough, man. First downs, it just seems like a lot to have 20 and 21 first downs.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Do you agree or no? Well, I mean,
I mean, if this game really starts being a shootout like everyone thinks it's gonna be, I mean, it is what it is with these first, third, and fourth down conversions or first downs allowed. I mean, that's just a lot of stuff, a lot of extra just stats you have to look at if you're unless you're just kind of just throwing it out there. But these are tough for me. And then did they take off interceptions? Someone asked if we talked about Matt Stafford interceptions. For some reason, I can't find interceptions here.
no, I'm not seeing it either, and I'm not sure why. I'm really not sure why because this is always a stat that's here even throughout the year. I'm gonna assume either quarterback, depending on if you're going like FanDuel, DraftKings Sportsbook, something like that. I'm assuming they're at half an interception. What's your thought on either of those?
I mean, Stafford kind of changed the way he played this season. He didn't really take too many crazy shots in spots where he didn't need to, but I don't know. I honestly I don't think Stafford's gonna throw an interception. I mean, he had a couple errant throws uh, last game, and it just slipped right through the 49ers. hand, but I really don't think he's gonna throw a pick here today. I think he's gonna play very. He's gonna have a great game. I mean, this is the game he's been waiting for his whole career. So there's no reason for him to kind of throw it away. The Rams are a clear cut better team in this matchup.
See, I mean, for me, I don't think Burrow makes a mistake here. This is a situation where Riaz, I can see like Joe Burrow having a great game, but in a losing fashion. I don't think Burrow makes a mistake. I think Stafford could make a mistake. I'm gonna say third quarter to keep the Bengals in, to keep the hopes alive, and we might be able to see some little run out of Cincinnati. Stafford's got 12 picks on the year, 12 out of his last 20, and he's had some games this year where he's had 3 in a game. Not always his fault. Don't get me wrong, but if there's a situation where if the Bengals go up maybe 10-0 to start the game, and the Rams are kind of like, okay, we might have to throw away the game plan, kind of panic mode. Stafford's on a huge stage, might try to force one in. Might not be his fault. But those deflections and stuff like that, we've been seeing a lot of those in the playoffs. I mean, saw it to Patrick Mahomes twice in the playoffs, once against the Bengals and then against the Steelers in the first round. I mean, obviously Kyler Murray throughout the play, in his time in the playoffs, like we've seen a lot of like batted down balls at the line of scrimmage. Not that the front four for Cincinnati is very scary in that sense, but I think Stafford can make a mistake here. If I had to pick one, not that I'm probably going to be touching either because they're a little scary, I'll probably pick Stafford over Burrow, in my opinion.
And then Chase receptions or Cup receptions. Can't stop Cup at all, but Rams have Ramsey. I mean, yeah. I mean, these are two of the best wide receivers this season. I mean, Chase started off a little slow, but he's just looked phenomenal as of late for the past like 2.5 months. And Cooper Cup just an unbelievable season. So definitely don't mind. I mean, I like Chase a little bit better here at 6 than Cooper Cup compared to 8. I think Odell plays a bigger role here in this game compared to Cooper Cup. Chase at 6 just looks awesome. I mean, we saw so many times where he could catch a deep pass, but those little screen, those little hitch routes that he runs, it's just phenomenal. And I mean, he's just seen so many targets every single game. He's gonna catch 6. You would think.
Ah, man, it's just between the two. I mean, you think there's a route for both? Of course.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
yeah, I mean, I think there's a route for both. I think Chase looks good. I think Chase looks real good here at 6. I mean, he slimmed down against Tennessee and Kansas City. Jalen Ramsey does play a factor. Don't get me wrong, but this is why Riaz is on Higgins, man. But Higgins looks really good too. At 5, I think Cup is safe. Cup is always safe, man. But Cup for receiving yards is a lot safer. These reception lines are tough. I mean, you got one dude, or actually 3 dudes that are at a half. So all the rest of these guys could like push realistically. I mean, these are spot on for receptions in my opinion. Uzoma I think looks really good here. If you're gonna take a reception
Yeah, I
line,
do.
I think Uzoma at 2.5 is probably what you're gonna look for here. And then P Ryan, in the video I like his receiving yards. Me and Riaz predict him to kind of have 2, maybe 3 screens here, maybe 2 screens, and some sort of dump down pass if Burrow gets pressure. Like P Ryan there at that spot. I would take his receiving yards though because I think he has the opportunity to get one loose like as he did in the Kansas City game. Uzoma safest for me in receptions, P Ryan in receiving yards. But if you want to touch the guys at the top, I think you might want to take Cup receiving yards over his receptions in my opinion. I mean that's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely tough. I mean, season long, uh, Cooper Cup's got a 58% hit rate at 8 receptions, and then just based off season long here, Cooper Cup's got the better hit rate for sure. I mean, 40% hit rate for Chase here at 25% hit rate here for the season. So let me change my pick. I would much rather have Cooper Cup
For receptions.
for receptions. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he sees double digit targets a game. and he catches them. I mean, and they're just it's just unbelievable what he's done so far, and it would make sense for him to cap it off. Like, it doesn't make sense for me here to if you want to fade Cup maybe, but if you're thinking about taking an under on Cup, I would not do it. I would stay way far away from thinking about taking an under on Cooper Cup on anything in this game, in my opinion. Even with all the noise and the 2 weeks of preparation, I'd stay far away from taking an under. What do you
And
guys
then some.
feel about the
Yeah,
best over? Feel best about over the props?
I think my favorite over is Higgins here for receiving yards at 66 and a half. Like I said in the video, he's just played such a bigger role in these past two games against Kansas City and Tennessee. Two games where he's just saw monster targets. Both Kansas City over 195 against Tennessee. He's just looked phenomenal. I think he's going to have probably 80, 85 yards receiving. He's just such a monster guy that just finds the middle of the field. He can catch a deep pass. I mean, he's so versatile. It's incredible. And like let's see who said that. Someone said because the Rams have Ramsey. I think Ramsey's going to be all over Jamar Chase. He's probably going to really cause a lot of problems for Chase here. And this is just another game where Higgins has to show up, and he has. And no better place than the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, man, I agree. Honestly, like, oh, I mean, he goes heads or tails. I was watching a couple of these crazy props the other day. Well, pretty much throughout the week, people are talking about a lot of these crazy props. Heads or tails, man. Tails never fails. that's my stance. Tails never fails. Even bet. I mean, it's
I like tails as well.
it is unreal how much money comes in on those props. It's a
Well,
50-50 bet.
did you see? Did anybody write in the comments if you guys saw Pat McAfee's thing about the opening kickoff, how the balls aren't broken in, and I believe the not if it's going to be a touchback or not. I believe it not being a touchback is plus money right now. I'm not sure if it changed, but he had a really good point.
And so he's
Did you?
thinking he's thinking that it's going to be a touchback, or he's thinking that there's going to
No,
be a
it's not.
return.
No, there's going to be a return. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
So the ball that gets kicked off first is like I'm not gonna do the whole rant or whatever he did, but pretty much like there's a bunch of balls that get broken in, so there's a bigger sweet spot, and pretty much the ball that's like the opening kick is like goes to the Hall of Fame, goes to Canton. So they don't break the ball in. It's just a ball that they take out of the box, they put up there. So I guess it's like hard as a rock
Yeah.
to kick, and it goes like nowhere. So definitely one to take a look at.
So it's plus money for a kick return.
Yeah, I believe so. Last time I looked, it was plus 130, 125.
See, the most interesting prop that I've seen so far is the Gatorade color at the end of the game, and my pick is red. Red's plus 1,000. I mean, I'm drinking orange right now, and I love me some orange Gatorade. I love me some yellow Gatorade. Blue is the favorite. Last year, last year it was blue, and that was at plus 1,200 odds for blue. I like the value on red here at plus 1,000 to take a stab at $5 for the Gatorade color, and they got some weird ones in there. They got like purple as a huge dog. Purple is a giant dog here, so it's a shot in the dark, but I mean for like 1 out of 6 odds, I mean realistically it's gonna be one of those colors, and red just seems like just a common one for me here. Like it just seems like it's gonna be red for me. I don't know. I can picture it. I don't know who's gonna get dumped on, but plus 1,000 odds to take a shot at 1 out of 6. I mean, might be worth to kind of look at if you're really thinking about throwing some cash down on some crazy stuff.
What else is everyone thinking here? We'll probably go for another 40. Maybe we'll stay on until 12:30 if you guys are liking this.
Yeah, 32 people in here right now, man. This is actually pretty dope. So far the questions have been good. I'm appreciating everything in here. There's so much more. I mean, to even look at and cover. I mean, we can dive into some betting stuff too. If you guys want to hop over to one of the sports books, we can kind of look at some odds. We can kind of look into some interesting stuff. I mean, obviously all these places go off for the Super Bowl. I'm assuming you guys are already signed up for Prize Picks, but I figured if you're not signed up yet, you can sign up using promo code Upstate. Um, I mean, like I said, this board is just crazy for the Super Bowl. We cover NBA Monday through Sunday, and I mean, this is a good time. We're not no NBA today, obviously for the Super Bowl, but we're kind of focused in on this. I don't even, is there NBA games today? That's how much
Yeah,
that
there's two games. There's one at 2 and there's one at 3.
like how unfortunate for those teams.
I
I
know.
mean, playing on Christmas is enough, but playing on the Super Bowl, I mean, it feels like that's almost just as bad. Because like the NBA Christmas is like that's something you already know is gonna happen. But when you gotta play Super Bowl Sunday, it's like, damn man, are you for real? So I don't really know.
What do you think about Mixon here at receiving yards? 5 out of the last 5, sitting at 25 and a half.
Mixon receiving yards,
Yeah,
man. I don't like it. I don't like it because I'm on P Ryan, and I feel like that's my stance there. And I feel like, I mean, I'm under his rush attempts
mm,
for Mixon. So receiving yards correlates kind of with that. He's been over the past 5 games. He's been playing really well. I don't know, man. What do you think
I feel
about
like
it?
I think both of them can hit the over. I mean, we saw P Ryan get 43 the last game against Kansas City, and Joe Mixon here had 27, and we saw the big games. I mean, 70 against Baltimore. Granted, he Joe Burrow threw for like 500 yards, and I mean against Tennessee he had 51. Kansas City, the first time in January, he had 40. I think Joe Mixon's going to be very involved in this game. I kind of like his fantasy score here. I think he finds the end zone. I know we've been all over him this year finding the end zone, but his fantasy score is sitting at 16. He's 2 out of 5 in the last 5. I think he's just going to be so heavily used in this game. Joe Burrow is going to have a lot of pressure if they don't get this run game going early. This is going to be a long night for the Bengals.
So are you drifting towards the Mixon over rush attempts?
I don't like that his line's at 16, but this is for sure a game. Like I said, they got to get the run going. He could probably see 5, 6 rush attempts, maybe even in the first drive.
Definitely could
Jeff Smith,
happen.
I'm taking that mix and receiving yards all day. Yeah, I mean it's probably the lowest we've seen it in a while. The Bengals' own line is trash. Check down all day. Yeah, without a doubt. That's what me and Dale have been talking about. That's why Dale's on P Ryan, and I think both of those are great plays.
Yeah, and Jeff, that's why I kind of went to P Ryan because I feel like P Ryan, in a sense, is just safer with one. I mean, he catches one, it feels like it can go for 9 yards. That's why I'm drifting towards P Ryan. Um, but honestly, like everyone's talking about all these dump downs. Like this makes me want to go to Burrow rush yards. I mean, realistically, Burrow rush yards at 9.5 is really good. I mean, this is like a 4 yard discount compared to a lot of other sites. I mean, some places got him at 12, 13.5 rushing yards. Obviously, Price Picks kind of comes down on their props, but like 25 against Kansas City, and I mean, we saw the one where Chris Jones is all over him, can't get him down, like the iconic play pretty much out of that game. And Burrow is just like late in the game, like the kid, he's got fight, man. I mean, realistically, he's out there and he's gonna do what he has to do to get the team to win. And I mean, if that's breaking away from the pocket, he's gonna do it. I mean, it's the last game of the year. These dudes are putting their bodies on the line. Realistically, I mean, it's as cliche as it sounds. That's pretty much how it goes, though. And throughout the playoffs, um, it hasn't looked the greatest, against Vegas and Tennessee. But man, what he was doing against Kansas City once things were getting going in the play action, it was kind of tough to fade. So I really like here 9.5. I like this more than Mixon's yards, in my opinion. I like P Ryan, like I
More
said,
than
and I like
Mixon's
this.
rushing yards.
I like this more than Mixon's receiving yards because and for a dump down for like a dump down narrative, like if we're gonna be going dump downs, talking about dump downs, I think Burrow's gonna try to get away from the pocket and extend plays, especially if they go down big. But I don't know. I like Burrow rush yards here. Mixon can
To
get it
get
done too.
more
Don't get me wrong, but this is where I'm at.
to get more receptions, Beckham or Cup, despite all the attention Cup brings. I think Cooper Cup gets more receptions for sure than OBJ. But if we're talking prize picks, I do prefer OBJ at 5 than Cooper Cup at 8.
I can see that. I can see a route to that for sure. I mean, 6 and 9 in the last 2 games, 4 against Arizona, but had a good game receiving yards. Um, Between the two, Cup has the better game statistically wise, but I honestly have a feeling Odell catches a touchdown here. That's my stance on that. Odell's fantasy score is at 13.5. It's a little high for me, realistically, but I do think Odell finds the end zone. That I really do think he finds the end zone here. They don't have a prop for it right now. Maybe as the day progresses, there might be something that comes out. Don't get me wrong, things kind of shift on here, and if you can find it on one of your sports book, man, I like Odell touchdown. It might be plus money at this point right now too. So that's what I really like.
What do you think about the receptions
I
for
mean,
Cup and OBJ?
we kind of talked about touchdown. I mean, receptions a little bit. I'm on Cup more than I am Odell. That's just where I'm at. I mean, I feel like if the game, no matter how the game stands, Cobbs just catches it everywhere, man. I mean, he's catching it. He's catching screens. He's catching little out routes. If there's fourth down, they're going to him. They're looking for him in the red zone. They can throw it to him deep, throwing him for slants. They're throwing it to him up the middle. I mean, it's just the targets are going to be there. It's just too hard for me to kind of like be like, oh no, Cup's not going to get there. I feel like Cup is my main guy. I do think Odell looks great though. Don't get me wrong, and both dudes can get over. Like it's not one or the other. Both dudes really can get over. We can see Cup with 9, Odell with 6. I mean, and I realistically can see that all day. So, Cup is my main guy here. Odell looks good, um, but I like Cup more.
This is someone we haven't talked about yet. Van Jefferson, 2 receptions. I think he gets 3 here. And the reason why I say that is, like me and Dell have been talking about, in every single Super Bowl, there's somebody who just has an unbelievable game. I mean, look at the Bills and the Chiefs. Who would have thought Gabriel Davis would have caught 4 touchdowns? I'm not saying Van Jefferson's going to go out here and catch 4 touchdowns by any means, but I mean, 3 out of the 5 pushes so far. He had a nice little game against Baltimore, one against Arizona. I think if they start really putting the pressure on OBJ and Cooper Cup, Van Jefferson could definitely go out there and get 4 catches. I mean, it seems like worst comes to worst, he's going to get a push, just the way the last 5 has been going. But this is also someone they have to get involved. I mean, he's such a big play threat. I mean, if they start going down a little bit, I mean, this is definitely someone Stafford has no problem throwing the ball up to.
Man, I talked about it earlier in the week. Like I love Van Jefferson in this game. Like I just like I mean you saw Scotty Miller last year, in the playoffs for Tampa Bay. Like it's just there's always that guy, and I'll never think differently that there's not gonna be that guy who just comes out of nowhere. Van Jefferson's got some spice to him, man. He is a big play guy, and they like to throw him to him deep. They like to throw it to him deep, and they really do. And that's what he was doing before Odell got there. And at first they were using Deshaun Jackson to kind of do the same thing. They let him go. Van Jefferson stepped in that role, played really well. He's good, man. And his receiving yards look amazing in my opinion. And this is one of my picks. And it just he's been so good all year. He actually has one of the best hit rates on the season for this prop. And he's played so well. I mean, he's 34.6 in his last 5, 44 on the season, 39.4 in his last 10. I mean, he just looks so good here, and I think McVay is really thinking of some crazy offensive plays. I think we're going to see some really interesting stuff here. I love McVay as a coach, and I think he knows like the attention's going to be on Odell. He knows that the attention is going to be on Cooper Kupp. He knows what he has in both those guys, but if he can get Van Jefferson going, think about how much that opens up the field. I mean, if Van Jefferson opens up in the first half, catches 3 balls in the first half, the Bengals are going in the locker room and saying, "What can we do?" And without Higbee here, I mean, Van Jefferson, he can really burn these guys. I'm not joking. And I think Van Jefferson looks really good here. His props all the way around. 2 catches, over 20.5 reception yards. I think it looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even talk about Higby being out. I mean, that definitely adds a couple more receptions going Jefferson's way. I like Matt Gay over 2.5 PATs. I feel like the Rams will score three touchdowns. I think they will too as well. And we'll have a lead and won't go for two. Yeah, I couldn't agree any more with you. I think they score 3 4 touchdowns and he gets that over.
Um, yeah, man. Matt Gay, he's been phenomenal all year. He's been absolutely sensational. I know I talked about McPherson a lot here, but Matt Gay's been sensational. And at 2.5 PATs, I would take a stab at it for sure. This is just like this Prize Pick slate is the type of slate where I would just go if you're doing two pick powers, depending on what your unit price is, say you're at $20, I would probably just say, $20 two pick power here, maybe throw a four pick in for $10. Just spice it around, man. There's a lot here. There's a lot here. And there's a different route for everything. Me and Raz were talking about a lot of unders here because not everything is going to go over, so we do have to grease about some unders here within the next 20, 30 minutes for sure. But Matt Gay looks good, man. If you think the Rams are going to score 3 touchdowns, have they scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl yet? No. So if you want to play that situation, you can go for it. So last time we saw them in the Super Bowl, uh, yeah, they didn't even score a touchdown. Don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be decent. But I do like the under on today's game. 48.5. I like the under. I really do. I think it's 21-24 Cincinnati. That's my
Yeah,
prediction.
I don't love it, but
I don't think I think the
I don't
under.
think Brandon likes that either.
It's all right,
I
dude.
think he's a
I like
Rams
the
fan.
under. I like the under. I,
Trevor here. Who is your MVP for tonight's game? I'm guessing one of the QBs. It seems to always be the QBs. I'll probably go Stafford. Winning quarterback. I think the Rams are gonna win, like I said. So they always go to the quarterbacks here, unless somebody on the defense just comes away with a crazy uh, strip fumble. I mean, they do have Von Miller from my Broncos, so Super Bowl 50. We saw that, but
See, I was
yeah,
talking to
I went with the
Wilcox about
QBs.
this. I was talking to Wilcox about this. There's actually a solid route to some of these picks, and I was getting my odds over on FanDuel, and odds to win MVP for a defensive player was I think it was plus 700. And I really do think if the Rams win, I think it can be Aaron Donald. Like I think Aaron Donald's really not out of the question here to win the MVP for the Rams. And then anyone besides quarterback is a decent little prop too. I mean, with the amount of star power, if the Rams do win, I think it's gonna be one of those three guys. I mean, Von Miller, there is a route for Von Miller to get it, but between Cooper Cup in between Aaron Donald, I mean, either of those two guys are gonna play a big factor in this game. And with this narrative of Cincinnati's line being so atrocious and yada yada yada, and Burrow can get sacked 4 or 5 times, and he might get a game changing strip sack or something crazy. I think there's a route for Aaron Donald, and for Cincinnati, I think it's Burrow, and that's it. I don't think anyone else. Maybe Chase has a monster game, but for me, I mean, if Chase is going to have a monster game and catch 100, catch for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, I mean, that's only going to give Burrow 2 touchdowns. I think Burrow's the narrative here if you're going to go Cincinnati to win for an MVP.
I definitely agree with that for sure.
I'm telling you, man, there is a shot for Aaron Donald if you want to get spicy on a little bet over on the sports book. I mean, Aaron Donald's really not a bad choice.
Let's see here.
Trevor was asking too about UFC last night. Just for like a couple seconds here. Really good card. We didn't have the most successful night. I hit a couple big bets that I put over on the Patreon as well as the YouTube too. Had some really nice bets that I hit on that YouTube video. So solid night all around. The main event was a little lackluster, but I mean it was a good fight all the way around. I really enjoyed the card.
Yeah, UFC 271 was awesome. I actually loved the main event fight. I thought it was a very technical fight. I thought it was awesome. I definitely thought Robert Whitaker won. I thought he did a little bit more
So did I. So did
after
I.
after that first round was obviously Adesano's, but 2 through 5 it could have went either way. So I was shocked. One, it wasn't a split decision, and I was shocked Whitaker didn't win.
Yeah, and I had live bet plus 420 Robert Whitaker at midway through the fourth round. And I was
Yeah.
like, as soon as I put the bet in, Whitaker gets on his back, and I'm like, this is amazing. And I thought the odds would even shift. It kind of shifted a little bit more towards Whitaker. He went to like plus 360, but at the same time, I'm like, this is still incredible value. I really don't know how he didn't get more
Yeah.
votes, in my opinion. But Justin says, assuming you guys have looked at Van Jefferson, sorry I'm late. Justin, yeah, thank you for all the support so far throughout the NFL season. You've been one of our main guys. Appreciate you for sure. Van Jefferson, one of my guys for sure. Riaz likes him. I'm going receiving yards for him. I'm definitely going receiving yards for him. I think he's going to catch a big one. I think that if they get him involved, it's really going to be a tough day for the Cincinnati Bengals. There can be a situation where Van Jefferson has 3 catches for 40 yards. He caught one deep ball over the top, and over the top of Eli Apple, and now the Cincinnati Bengals are in shambles, going into the locker room saying, "What can we do here?" So that's my narrative for Van Jefferson. I really like him in this game.
Yeah, I don't mind him over for receptions. I don't mind him over for receiving yards. Fantasy score, I don't know if I'm going to be on him. He's sitting at 6. I don't think he scores a touchdown. I think 3 catches, 40 yards. That's an over. Yeah, I mean, I definitely like Van Jefferson here. Definitely, like we talked about, no Tyler Higbee plays a big factor. A little more targets going Van Jefferson's way. So I'll have a lot of Van Jefferson in my 2 and 3 pick powers here uh, today. Where do you guys make your sportsbook bets on? For me, I do Caesars and I do DraftKings Sportsbook.
Yeah, and I'm over on FanDuel currently, but I bounce around between the three. I mean, there's good odds everywhere. If I'm going for props, I'm coming right to Prize Picks for sure. But in terms of like single betting on games, I mean, there's a lot of cool things with the same game parlays between all three apps. Obviously, there's Barstool Sportsbook, there's BetMGM, Fox Sports Bet. I mean, there's a lot of things you can look at there. Um, but the main three realistically. I mean, there was a huge promotion for Caesars in New York, so we took advantage of that, which was cool. So yeah, man. Bounce around. I would say, don't really stick to one. They offer different odds on all of them. So kind of bounce around and see what you like, and then kind of like, especially for the Super Bowl here, there's different things everywhere. So I'd definitely bounce around for today before you kind of make a decision on where you want to go. There's a lot of things here, Riaz, on on the
There's a
sports books, man. I mean, touchdown props, first touchdown score. Right now, Cooper Cup comes in as the favorite as the first touchdown scorer at plus 500 here on FanDuel. There's a couple guys here, like Cam Akers looks good at plus 700. For me, I think there's a route. I want to find a prop where there's only, I don't wonder if it's at half a rushing touchdown score. I think there might only be one rushing touchdown score. These are two teams that like to throw in the red zone. I mean, over 65% on the season they're throwing in the red zone, maybe over 70, right around that range. I saw a statistic on it. These dudes like to throw, so in the red zone, and I think both quarterbacks have a big game. So I think there's a route where like maybe it's only Cam Akers, but I don't like Cam Akers at all in this game. We'll get to Cam
no.
Akers in a minute. I don't like Cam Akers at all, realistically, but there's some dudes here. First touchdown score like Odell Beckham Jr. plus 850, T Higgins at plus 1200. I mean, there's some nice stuff here. So we'll have to dive into some of that stuff later on. And
How how about Aaron Donald over 1 sack? I don't mind him getting 1 sack. Like we talked about, the Bengals O line is pretty rough, and I could definitely see him getting a couple gain sacks here where he's getting 25 or point 25, point 50 for a sack. I think I like the over here at 1. He's gonna cause a problem for this line. There's a lot of people between Floyd, Von Miller here they have to worry about. So they can't just focus on Aaron Donald. So I think he's gonna get over a sack.
I do too. I do think he's gonna get over a sack. Like I said, he's a sneaky MVP here. As I was talking about before, Robert, if you're just joining, Aaron Donald looks really good. But I do think Leonard Floyd also brings a factor to be considered here. I mean, let me see. Go to the sacks here. I mean, he's sitting at half a sack. Hasn't been significant throughout the playoffs, but that one against Tampa Bay looks really good. And you know, obviously, where the attention's going. Can it be stopped? No, you really can't stop Aaron Donald, which makes it more significant for him if he does get a sack for that MVP case. But Leonard Floyd, I think, does also look good, especially at just half a sack. He's definitely him and Donald can definitely assist on something, and that'll give you a push on Floyd. But I think Floyd definitely can get a sack here, for sure. But Donald as well. Would I look at the Rams at 3.5 sacks overall? Riaz, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I like it. I we saw against I believe it was the Raiders. He got sacked 9 times, and the Rams have such a better front than uh, than the Raiders. And it's not like they added anybody or magically got better over the last couple of weeks. So you're definitely seeing three very elite guys that are gonna really cause a problem. So I think they get 4 or 5 sacks here in this game.
Justin said could for sure see Sony Michelle with a TD or two, considering the Akers fumble scare. Yeah, man. One of my favorite picks on the board is rush attempts and Akers under 14 and a half. I mean, I like the under for for both realistically. But Akers, I don't think that he's gonna really be much of a factor. I think McVay already came out and said they're gonna have a running back by committee here. I don't, you can't quote me on that. But I was reading around at several different sources that Akers isn't really going to be a huge factor in this game. He might get around 10, 11 carries. Don't get me wrong, and he might break off for 45, 50 yards. But I do think Michelle is going to be involved, for sure.
I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. I've been looking at this 15 and a half. I'm definitely taking that over. I feel like there's no way I can't. Like you said, Justin. I mean, two almost losing losing fumbles he had uh, against Tampa Bay that really could have cost them that game. So Cam Akers does scare me. He's definitely he's got a problem with holding on to the ball, and Sony Michelle is just a veteran guy who's been in the Super Bowl plenty of times now. Where you got to get a veteran guy in there, especially in a big game like this. And him being at 15 and a half, and if Sean McVay came out and said it's going to be a committee here, I mean, if he gets 10, 7, 8 attempts here, I mean, 15 and a half is pretty low.
So you're going to be going over or under on
Over,
on
without a
Akers?
doubt. No, 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 Sony Michelle.
Oh, I don't see a Sony Michelle prop here for rush attempts.
No, 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 rushing yards.
Oh, rushing yards. Oh, okay, okay.
15 and a half.
Oh yeah, no, that looks awesome.
Yeah.
That looks awesome. I love that. I was just confused because I didn't know if you had Akers at 15 and a half rush attempts on your screen,
Oh,
um
no.
because they were kind of similar. But yeah, man, his rush yard, Sony Michelle looks awesome. So Maria says, "Hey guys, good morning. Any prize picks, please." Maria, ask a question. What do you need? What do you need? What do you want to know? We've been here for almost an hour now talking about this slate. So if you want to know something about the game, any other crazy props on a sports book or on prize picks, let us know. And Michael, both teams to fumble. Lock it. What is the odds on that? I'm curious, Mike. If you're still here, if you want to drop that. In the chat. Either team to score on their first offensive play. That's probably not something I'm gonna be taking. Both teams to score on their opening drive. Riaz, what do you think about that? Plus 1,000 odds for both teams to score. This is just score a touchdown. So
Score a touchdown in what? Their opening drive?
both teams to score a touchdown on their opening drive.
The Rams are going to score on their opening drive. I do not think the Bengals are going to. So I wouldn't take both of them to score on their opening drive, but they very well could.
Either team to score on their opening drive is plus 116. So that's very fair value if you do think either team when they get the ball is going to score. I think that's an
Yeah.
awesome prop. You're going to be going off on the sports book, aren't you, man?
Me?
Yeah, on Caesars.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, this is a gambler's Christmas here. The Super Bowl. I mean, this is my favorite day. I get so excited for the Super Bowl. I'm so happy we got two different teams in this game. We're not seeing Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, just the two guys I can't stand looking at. So this is nice. We got Stafford, we got Burrow.
Yeah, I'm a
It's
huge
gonna
fan
be
of this game.
awesome.
Huge fan. And then when I was looking and I was thinking about it last night, I was just like, these props are so awesome, and just everything they got going on for this game is really amazing, honestly. So I'm super excited for this game. And it's just like two teams. I mean, yeah, the Rams. A lot of people expected the Rams to be in, especially you, Riaz. But Cincinnati, man, just the run they went on, just super excited for this one, and it should live up to the hype. I hope it does. As much as I'm kind of being a negative Nancy saying, "Oh, I'm taking the under," um, I do hope it's a good game for sure. And good game doesn't necessarily have to mean 1,000 points scored, but I think it's gonna be close.
Exactly. Yeah.
But Justin
Just
says
little
again,
game.
yeah,
Oh,
I got it.
hit it, bro.
Sorry if it's already been covered. Do you guys like Odell over 5 receptions, 8 targets? Leaning on that one as well. I talked about his targets earlier. I like the under on his targets. His receptions look decent. I think he can see 6 for 7. But that's how crazy you got to get here. You know what I'm saying? That's how crazy you got to get. It's a Super Bowl. It's one single game. Um, I mean, you can't do the same guy in the same line here on Prize Picks, right? Am I wrong? Like you can't take the
Yeah.
under like on someone and then the over on someone. Um, but let's build a lineup here actually in a couple minutes. We'll get to Justin's question for sure, but let's build a lineup here in a couple minutes. Um, and we'll try to unlock that 15x because there's a route to unlock that 15x. So if you throw 10 in, you'll get 150 back. Well, there's a route. We'll definitely look at that as well. So for you, Riaz, what do you think? Odell reception yards,
Yeah. I
receptions,
I
targets.
love I love Odell here over 5 receptions. I mean, 6 against Tampa Bay, 9 against San Fran. He's been dying to play on a good team, get into the Super Bowl. He's had so much chaos in his kind of long career now. I mean, it hasn't been that long, but really like OBJ here. He's kind of a guy I've been just looking at since these lines came out like 2 weeks ago. So I really like OBJ. And then cashing in here says, you think Cooper Cup gets 90 or more receiving yards? Sorry, I'm late, guys. Yeah, no worries. I think he does. I think he's probably going to smash all of his props. It's just kind of what he's been doing all season long. All of his hit rates are phenomenal. I mean, what did I say? 61% for his receptions.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, rushing or receiving yards, I mean, he's been smashing. His line at 104 and a half, 65% hit rate. He's just been absolutely crushing this year.
So I'm looking at the same game parlay stuff here for Prize Picks, and I'm not seeing. Um, I'm not sure if they're letting us get to that on this game. Usually you take an over on a quarterback and then an under on a quarterback, and then it would unlock that same game parlay, and then you would be able to get to 12x or 15x. But they might have locked that here for the Super Bowl. I definitely can see why they locked that because there's so many props,
Yeah.
which makes sense. That would have been cool to make. But I definitely do want to kind of build a lineup for a live stream here. If you want to throw a little wager on it, Riaz, maybe
Yeah.
we can go pick for pick here. I know we built one already in one of the YouTube videos, but for the live stream, let's think about what's everyone. We got 42 people in here right now. Um, what's everyone's favorite pick? What's everyone's favorite pick on the board? Are you guys liking the McPherson field goals? Are you guys liking Cooper Cup receiving yards? What is your lock? If you had to pick one lock here, what is your lock? Let's build a lineup around that lock. So I'm curious to see what everyone's thinking. And let's kind of build a little power play here for the live stream. This is the first time actually me and Riaz have been on live. I went live once for NBA before lock one time. Riaz had some things going on, unfortunately, but yeah, we're here on live. This has been awesome, man. This hour flew by.
I know,
It's
this
been
has
an
been a
hour.
lot of fun.
So I mean, 42 people in here. It's been a busy day for everyone. I mean, if some people are cooking, some people are partying, some people are already drunk. It's gonna be a good day. I mean, the game, games are like the big games are like 8 o'clock, but Super Bowl's at 6:40. I wonder if there's like some halftime Super Bowl props. This halftime show is gonna be sick. I mean, the game all the way around is gonna be awesome. I can't wait. So, um, yeah, man. What else? What else are you thinking, Riaz? I'll let everyone kind of, write in the comment section what they're thinking, who their favorite pick is on the board. But what are you thinking, Riaz?
McPherson field goal. I mean, also, if you guys want to ask us any questions about how we play, I mean, I'm definitely a guy that doesn't play many 4 or 5 pick powers or flexes. I love 2 to 3 pick powers. I feel like that's where you get the most bang for your buck. So Definitely write down in the comments any question you guys want to ask. I mean, we're really enjoying this. This is awesome. If you want more live streams as well, we'll have no problem throwing these up. These are so much fun.
Yeah, I mean,
These are a
what were
ton
you
of
saying
fun.
the other day? If you did five two pick powers,
Yeah, so if you do five two pick powers, realistically, you need to hit two, and you make your money back, or you profit. So if you do five $20 two pick powers, $100. If you hit two of them, it's $60 a pop. So you're profiting $20 if you just hit two.
so on a Super Bowl like this, would you recommend breaking that down? So two pick like don't stack any players, like pick different players for every
Yes.
single because if you know what I'm saying, if you got Burrow in three of those, you know what I'm saying, three of your lineups, and he burns you, I mean you're kind of screwed at that point.
Yeah, you definitely see. That's why I love two pick powers because one, it kind of helps you not overlap on anybody. You kind of compare them up receptions with receptions, fantasy score with fantasy score. I mean, if you want to mix and match, I'm definitely okay with that. But two pick powers for 3xing your money here, I have no problem flooding your bets with two pick powers here, playing five, six, seven, eight of them, and realistically, you don't even have to go 50% because you're getting that 3x value here.
Okay. Yeah, I like that, man. I like that strategy. Something that I'm going to be tackling today. I think that's definitely solid. I mean, on my sports book, I'm going to be trying to shoot for home runs. I'm going to be throwing in some like monster parlays and stuff like that, just for a shot in the dark. But Prize Picks is something we grind out every day. Like we're on the route. Like we want to make this profitable throughout the year. Had a successful NFL season so far. Definitely want to end it on a bang though. So happy to go 4-0 last night over on the Patreon. So I got a nice little bankroll to work with here for the Super Bowl. So people are writing in like crazy. So we got McPherson field goals for Jeff Smith as best play. Maria says Prize Picks for the Super Bowl. Yeah, Maria, that's what we're cranking out over here. Um, Trevor goes Cup over receiving yards is my favorite. Then Higgins, love both of those. Riaz is on Higgins, and I love Cup for sure. AC Sports has just got here. How do we feel about Burrow pass attempts? I love his completions more than his attempts. Attempts is a lot of things that a lot of people are going to be hammering for Joe Burrow because people think that he's going to be playing from down. The book's predicting to be playing from down 4.5 point dogs, depending on where you get it from. But I think he looks really good. I mean, 4 out of the last 5. Some of them he just squeaked by 37, but 46 against Baltimore, 40 against Kansas City when he had that monster 500 yard game. It's tough. Completions for me is where I'm leaning over attempts. So I think he's going to have a really consistent game. I don't think he's going to make very many mistakes. I think he's going to be very solid all game. Could be in a losing effort. Riaz agrees, but I do think Bengals are going to squeak this game out. But I would take them plus 4.5 if you are going to make a pick. So it could be a really close one. So that's what I'm thinking there.
Someone, yep, Mixon under 16 and a half carries. Jeff Smith, totally agree. Love doing two pick powers. Just break even if you hit two. The real proof of success is if Prime Pick sends you. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Sends you that 1099.
That is
That's
so
funny.
true. That is so true. Yeah, man.
How do you guys feel about longest play and field goals? Longest play, I'm not really touching, to be honest with you. But field goals, like I think we're kind of in agreement. We like both kickers here.
Yeah, I mean PATs for Matt Gay I think looks solid. Don't get me wrong, but McPherson field goals is definitely my moneymaker here. Matt Gay I think looks really good as well. Matt Gay, I'd probably take PATs for Matt Gay over his field goals. I don't know how you feel about that, Riaz, but
Yeah, I agree with you.
the Rams want to score touchdowns,
Hmm.
in my opinion. They're not scared to go. I mean, they don't really go for on fourth down much, but they're also not scared to take shots. And I feel like in this game, they really trust their guys. I mean, they've made them. They Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford at the late in that game. If that game went to overtime, it was going to be scary against Tampa Bay. So it. I mean, they trust their guys here. I really think McVay trusts that Stafford and Cup connection. So I really think they're going to be shooting for touchdowns here. So Matt Gay PATs for me, McPherson field goals, as you know, he should be the thumbnail. He's just look at him. He's went crazy throughout the playoffs.
I
So
mean, another rookie too, which is just incredible.
yeah, it's unreal. Um, yeah, AC says there's a way to get the 12 pick, 12x 4 pick power play. If you want to drop it, I've been trying to get it unlocked here, and I'm not finding a way to get it. Maybe it is something that I'm missing here. But yeah, I've been trying to shoot for it. Nothing I can get here. So let us know. Let us know if there's something that you find that can find us that route, because that'd be cool to get us a little bit
Any
extra bonus.
any defensive any defense props y'all like? Yeah, I mean, like I said before, I like Rams 4.5. I like the over for 4.5 tackles for a loss. I think that Bengals old line is really in trouble here against the Rams. There's just so many guys that are gonna get after it here. And what was the other one? And then sacks here. I definitely like the Rams 3.5 sacks, and that might kind of correlate because if Joe Burrow gets sacked a bunch of times, those are plays for a loss. So I think the Rams get 4 or 5 sacks here on Joe Burrow.
Yeah, 100% can see that. I mean, even just like quarterback hits at 6, I think looks solid too. For sure. So, um, not to mention, if you guys are here, we're like 5 subs away from 2,000. If you guys are here joining on the live, I know I posted this live stream. I mean, I even posted it like on like Facebook and Snapchat. I was trying to get mad people here. If you guys aren't subscribed yet, drop a sub, man. We're about to hit 2,000 subs. That'd be awesome if we can get it before the Super Bowl. We did do a Super Bowl video already, so I know you guys been in here listening to us chat for over an hour now. But if you do want to check out the other video, we do kind of go through it a little bit quicker. We don't go through every category, but we do give some of the picks that we're thinking. So you can go check that one out too. But please subscribe if you haven't yet. 2,000 would be sick to hit before the Super Bowl.
Oh, Jacob, love the Spurs right there. LOL, so many types of bets. That's crazy. Oh yeah, there's Prize Picks did an awesome job for the Super Bowl with everything to talk about here. This is just awesome.
Okay, AC says I got a Burrow prop, a Cup prop, and 2 NBA props. So we haven't looked at NBA at all. But
Yeah, I don't know.
in I wouldn't be able to tell you what I'm really thinking at NBA. Realistically, it's kind of tough to even kind of go over there. I'd probably take a couple points, guys, if you're trying to get the props. I mean, I'm trying to get that 12x, but the games are at like different times and stuff like that too. We're gonna start. I mean, it's just a long day for NFL here, and there's so much things that still have to be put in. There's a lot of Patreon work that's about to be up in the next, couple hours. I have to get over there and start flooding content for the Patreon members as well. So that's definitely an option. If you guys are really liking the stream, if you're new here, 42 people in. If you've never been watching our videos before, we do have Patreon service. We don't do live streams like this, but we do have a Discord server. Which is very awesome. It's been pretty active lately, so I really love all the support over there and the community that we're building. That's amazing. I'll definitely drop the link for that in the description. And yeah, the Patreon service, $20 a month. You get me and Riaz's picks. It's 2 for the price of 1. Realistically, I mean you're getting my picks and his picks. We're flooding content. Definitely great value.
Stafford and Burrow over pass yards, Cup and Chase under receiving yards for 15x. Yeah, I
15x.
mean, that one's definitely tough. I can't really see myself taking under on Cooper Cup or Chase here, but yeah, if you want to get that 15x, I mean, there's definitely a possibility they both go under. I mean, it's definitely not something you could rule out.
Yeah, there's definitely gonna be some. There's definitely gonna be some unders. For sure. For unders here, yeah, you do get the 15x there. 20 would win you 300. If we are looking at a 4 pick power for 15x, so both over on the quarterbacks, could you take under on one of the quarterbacks? And still no, you got to be over on both quarterbacks. Um, Riaz, that's something we'd have to dive into a little bit, man. Um,
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
crazy.
I definitely do. I prefer Stafford over than Joe Burrow.
Well, you could take both quarterbacks over.
No, I know, but I don't know if I really like Joe Burrow over 275.5.
It is scary. I mean, they come back from 21 points and he only throws for 250 yards.
Yeah.
So
In Stafford, you've seen all season. and especially just the way. I mean, 337, 260 or 366. I mean, he's just been throwing the ball like crazy, and just how well Stafford has looked all season long. I mean, it's like a resurgence in his career. I mean, he looks like he's 22, 23 throwing the ball the way he has this season, and with Odell stepping up, Van Jefferson here, we think is going to have an awesome game. So we really, I mean, personally, I like a lot of the Rams wide receivers. So I'm going to correlate it here with Stafford over 280 and a half.
AC says you can switch out Chase for Boyd or something. I
I
I
don't
mean,
mind
either
it.
way, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot right now to kind of like figure out. I mean, there's a bunch of guys. I mean, receiving yards. Like, I didn't really like too many unders on receiving yards. Most of them are kind of fades. The only unders I was pretty much on, um, are the rush attempts for Cam Akers, the rush attempts for Joe Mixon. Riaz, I wouldn't say you're necessarily on Joe Burrow under, but you're just kind of fading it. Is that what I'm assuming?
Yeah, yep,
So, I mean, it's a fishy one. Uh, I mean, some of these touchdown props. I mean, like Cam Akers at a half a touchdown. I mean, like he definitely like can't like he might not be that involved. Uzoma, I love him at his receptions. There's so many picks that I
there
like.
is.
There's a bunch. There's a bunch.
So
Um,
here, let's you do a four pick, I'll do a four pick, and then we'll end it on that. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I like that. So, for my first pick in my four pick power, I'm going to be going Evan McPherson here. Field goals made. Really love this pick. My next guy I'm going to go in Samaje Perine here. Over 8.5 receiving yards. I'm also going to take right above him Van Jefferson over receiving yards. Love those two picks. And for my final play here, it's a tough one, man. It really is a tough one, but I think I'm gonna play it safe here. Go Cooper Cup over 102.5 receiving yards. That'll finish up my four pick power here. I'm gonna punch that sucker in, right here on stream. So love that pick. And Riaz, what do you got?
I got OBJ over 5 receptions. I got CJ. I don't like saying his last name because I'll never say it right. I got him over 26 and a half receiving yards. I like Van Jefferson over two receptions as well. And then for the last one here, I'm going Joe Mixon over um, over a touchdown here. We haven't talked about it. I really like Joe Mixon here in this game. He hasn't found the end zone as frequently as he did early on in the season, but I really I really think they're going to bring a lot of pressure, and Joe Mixon's going to find a way to get a dump down, catch for a touchdown, or they're going to get they're going to be on the 5 or the 1, and he's just going to punch one in. So Joe Mixon over a touchdown.
So you got Odell, Mixon, Uzoma, and who's the last guy?
Van Jefferson,
Van Jefferson receiving receptions.
receptions. So OBJ receptions over 5, CJ over 26 and a half receiving yards, Van Jefferson over 2 receptions, and Joe Mixon over half a touchdown.
I like it. I like it a lot, man. For me, I love Uzoma receptions, but his receiving yards, it almost feels a little bit safer because he definitely can catch two. He can catch two for like 14 yards a piece. You know what I'm saying? And get you to 28.
Yeah,
So I don't mind that at all. So really like that as well. I'm gonna be punching that one here right on stream. Um, this is awesome. This is awesome. Really like what we got going here. So yeah, be punching things in here right on stream, right for everyone to just kind of see. So any last thoughts here? I mean, we've been on for an hour and 15 minutes. It feels like 10. We've kind of just been on here
yeah,
bullshitting. Um, yeah, what do you guys think? I know
yeah.
AC's AC's been
Definitely.
active.
Let us know if you want us to do more live streams. I know it sucks that this is the last NFL game, but we've been really locking down here for NBA. I mean, Dale's been phenomenal the last week or so for NBA. I've had my days. I've been catching a nice little streak here, so Definitely check out the Patreon if you want to. If you haven't signed up for Prize Picks, use the promo code Upstate for a $100 deposit match. I mean, a lot of stuff going on over here at Upstate Bets. Try to get us to 2,000 subscribers. That would be phenomenal. And if you love the live stream, if you think we should do more of these before lock, I mean, we'll definitely do them.
Yeah, man, for sure. I would definitely love to start live streaming if people are going to be interested. So yeah, I think we're almost ready to wrap things up. I think we're almost ready.
Yeah,
You guys like chase under 18 fantasy score. Fantasy score is something I haven't really been on this whole slate. I've kind of been fading it, and honestly, over on NBA, I've been fading it since PRA came out. Um, but Jamar Chase, I it's it's
it's
a
definitely
tough line.
tough.
Yeah,
I mean, I definitely don't. I can definitely see why you would take the under because you would definitely need a touchdown or 10 catches for 90 yards. I mean, he's going to have a monster game to hit that fantasy score, but I definitely don't mind the under there.
I probably wouldn't take the over or the under. I'd probably fade for Jamar Chase. I think there's other props for him that look a lot better. Between his receiving yards or his receptions that I would definitely look at rather than his fantasy score. Fantasy score, he kind of has to get a touchdown here to kind of make this worth your while. And that's just kind of too much to happen. Touchdown, 8 catches, 70 yards. I mean, just stick to one of his other props, in my opinion. I'd probably stick to just receiving yards. The fact that he can break one loose, and he's going to be involved here. I know he's going to have Ramsey on him. Um, but I'd probably go receiving yards if you're looking at him. So AC Sports says y'all are dope. Love the stream. Appreciate that, AC.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. So let's wrap things up, man. We punched in two plays here. I hope you guys are riding with us. We have a bunch of things to get going on the Patreon. I'm hungry. We got to get eating here. I'm gonna be eating all day. I hope we're eating on these bets. So appreciate everything you guys have done. Chilling in the stream. Live stream is good. Appreciate that, man. Riaz, you got anything else to say?
Yeah, I appreciate everyone who was in here, who watched the videos. I mean, this is awesome. I mean, this is what I've always wanted to do. I love doing props, doing sports bets. I mean, this is just what I love doing, and I feel like I got a lot of knowledge that I can bring to you guys. And if you guys are loving this, I mean, this is just awesome. So we appreciate it. We're probably gonna pump out more live streams. This was a lot of fun, and stay tuned for Monday for NBA. I mean, now NFL's over, we're gonna be cracking down on NBA and getting a lot of content for you out for you guys.
For sure. So we'll catch you on the next one, guys. Peace out.